Long before the idea of money existed, the people living in the land we now call Thailand survived through a system of direct exchange. This was the age of barter. If a farmer grew more rice than his family could eat, he did not sell it. Instead, he would trade his extra rice for other things he needed. He might exchange a basket of rice for some dried fish from a fisherman, or for clay pots made by a local artisan. This system worked well in small villages where everyone knew each other and understood the value of different goods. It was a simple and direct way to acquire necessities for daily life, based on mutual agreement and the immediate needs of the community. The barter system, however, had its limitations. It required what economists call a double coincidence of wants. This means that for a trade to happen, both people had to have something the other person desired at the exact same time. The rice farmer had to find a fisherman who not only had fish to trade but also wanted rice in return. If the fisherman needed a new knife instead of rice, the farmer was out of luck. This made trade complicated and often inefficient. Finding the right trading partner could take a lot of time and effort, slowing down the pace of economic life and limiting the opportunities for people to improve their circumstances through commerce. As communities grew and trade routes expanded, these problems became more significant. Imagine trying to trade a large water buffalo. It could not be easily divided to trade for smaller items like salt or cloth. Furthermore, the value of goods could change with the seasons. A basket of mangoes was very valuable when the fruit was out of season, but much less so during a plentiful harvest. There was no standard stable measure of value that could be used across different goods and at different times of the year. This lack of a common medium of exchange made it difficult to build a more complex and far-reaching economy beyond the local village. To overcome these challenges, people began to use certain desirable goods as a form of intermediate currency. Items that were durable, portable, and widely accepted were used to facilitate trade. In ancient Southeast Asia, these items included things like cowrie shells, salt blocks, and specific types of beads. A person could trade their rice for shells and then use those shells later to buy fish or tools from someone else. This was a crucial step forward. It was not yet true money, but it was the beginning of a system where a single, accepted item could represent value, paving the way for the eventual development of coinage. The lands of Southeast Asia were never isolated. For centuries, they were a crossroads of major maritime trade routes that connected powerful civilizations. Merchants and sailors from distant empires traveled through the region, bringing with them not only exotic goods but also their customs and ideas. Among the most fascinating items they carried were their coins. Traders from India brought silver and gold coins stamped with symbols of their gods and rulers. From the vast Roman Empire, coins bearing the profiles of emperors made their way along these complex trade networks, eventually reaching ports in what is now southern Thailand. Chinese merchants also came, with their distinctive round coins that had a square hole in the center. The arrival of these foreign coins was a revelation. Local people in the region saw for the first time small, standardized pieces of metal that were specifically made for the purpose of trade. Unlike a bag of rice or a string of shells, these coins had a value that was guaranteed by a powerful, faraway authority. A Roman coin was accepted not just for the silver it contained, but because it represented the economic might of the Roman Empire. This concept of state-guaranteed money was entirely new. Local merchants and rulers began to understand that currency could make trade faster, easier, and more reliable than simple barter or the use of commodity money. These foreign coins did not immediately replace the local barter systems, but they were highly valued. They were often used in large-scale transactions between international merchants and local chieftains. A local leader might accept a payment of Indian silver coins in exchange for a shipment of rare woods, spices, or aromatic resins from the inland forests. These coins were seen as a concentrated and portable form of wealth. They were easier to store and transport than bulky goods. For the wealthy and powerful, possessing these foreign coins became a symbol of status and a connection to the wider, more sophisticated world of international commerce. The influence of these coins went beyond just their use in trade. They planted an important idea in the minds of local rulers. The symbols and portraits on the coins showed that money could be a tool of the state. A ruler could put their own mark on a piece of metal to declare its value and to broadcast their authority across their kingdom. While the early kingdoms in the Thai region did not immediately start minting their own coins in the same style, the presence of Roman, Indian, and Chinese money provided a powerful example. It set the stage for the eventual creation of a unique indigenous form of currency that would be tailored to the local culture and economy. Before the Sukhothai Kingdom rose to prominence, the area of modern-day Thailand was home to several smaller, influential city-states and kingdoms. Among the most important were the Dvaravati culture in the Central Plains and the Srivijaya Empire in the south. These kingdoms were active participants in regional trade networks and developed sophisticated societies. However, when it came to money, they did not produce true coins in the way we understand them today. Instead, they continued to use a mix of barter and what we can call proto-money, objects that served some of the functions of currency but were not standardized, state-issued coins. The Dvaravati civilization, which flourished from the 7th to the 11th century, provides an interesting example. Archaeological discoveries from Dvaravati sites have uncovered various metal tokens and symbols. Some of these are small silver wheels representing the Buddhist Dharma chakra or wheel of law. Other tokens bear symbols like the conch shell or a pot full of water, both of which are auspicious symbols in local beliefs. While these items were clearly valuable and may have been used in important exchanges or for religious offerings, they were not a true currency. They lacked a consistent weight standard and were not produced on a large scale for everyday use by the general population. In the southern part of the peninsula, the powerful maritime empire of Srivijaya controlled key trade routes. Here commerce was more advanced, and silver played a significant role. Merchants used small, unmarked lumps or bars of silver, which were valued by their weight. This was a step closer to a monetary system, as silver was used as a universal medium of exchange. However, each time a transaction was made, the silver had to be weighed to determine its value. This is known as a bullion economy. It was more efficient than barter, but still lacked the convenience of pre-weighed marked coins that could be counted instead of weighed. Alongside silver, other forms of proto-money remained in use. Beautifully crafted beads, made from glass or semi-precious stones, were highly prized and traded across the region. These beads were durable, portable, and had an aesthetic value that made them desirable. In some communities, they functioned almost like a form of currency for smaller transactions. The key takeaway from this period is that while the concept of money was developing, it was still fragmented. Value was expressed through a variety of objects: silver bullion, symbolic tokens, and decorative beads, without a single unified system emerging from any of the early kingdoms. The stage was set for a true innovation. The 13th century marked a pivotal moment in Thai history with the rise of the Sukhothai Kingdom. This is often considered the first true Thai kingdom, and its rulers established a strong, prosperous, and culturally vibrant state. It was during this period of innovation and consolidation that Thailand's first indigenous coin was created. This new form of money was called Duang, a name that translates to coiling worm or huddled grub, describing its unique and curious shape. The invention of the Duang was a revolutionary step, moving the economy away from the cumbersome systems of barter and weighed bullion towards a true standardized national currency. The creation of Duang was likely driven by the needs of a growing kingdom. Sukhothai was a center of trade, especially in high-quality ceramics known as Sangkalak ware, which were exported across Southeast Asia. To manage this expanding economy, the kingdom's rulers needed a more efficient and trustworthy monetary system. Relying on cutting and weighing silver bars for every transaction was slow and prone to cheating. By issuing standardized pre-weighed coins, the Sukhothai kings could streamline commerce, make tax collection easier, and assert their royal authority over the economy. The Duang was their brilliant solution. Unlike the flat, round coins of the West or the hold coins of China, the Duang was a solid piece of silver bent into a distinctive globular shape. It looked like a small, thick bar of silver that had been folded over, with its two ends hammered together. This unique form was not accidental. It was a practical design that made the coins difficult to counterfeit or clip. Shaving off silver from the edges of a flat coin was a common form of cheating, but the rounded, solid shape of the Duang made this almost impossible to do without leaving obvious marks. This inherent security was a key reason for its success and longevity. The adoption of the Duang marked a fundamental shift in how people thought about money. For the first time, there was a form of currency that was uniquely Thai, created by and for the kingdom. Its value was guaranteed by the king, whose royal seal was stamped onto the metal. A merchant no longer had to bring a set of scales to the market. They could simply count the number of Duang coins to complete a transaction. This built trust and confidence in the economic system, fostering greater trade both within the kingdom and with neighboring states, and laying the financial foundation for centuries of Thai history. The production of Pod Duang, or bullet money, was, a careful and controlled process, overseen by the royal treasury to ensure its integrity. The primary material used was silver, a precious metal that was highly valued throughout Asia for its beauty and scarcity. The silver was first melted down and cast into bars of a standard thickness. These bars were then cut into specific lengths, with each length corresponding to a predetermined weight. This was the most critical step in ensuring the coin's value. The entire monetary system was based on a unit of weight known as the Baht, a standard that has survived in Thailand to this day as the name of the national currency. Once the silver bars were cut to the correct weight, they were reheated until they were malleable. A skilled silversmith would then use a hammer and pliers to bend the hot silver bar into its characteristic C shape, folding it over until the two ends met or nearly touched. The smith would then hammer the ends together, fusing them and forming the compact, rounded bullet shape. The final form was not perfectly spherical, but rather a thick, folded lump of silver, solid and substantial in the hand. This manual process meant that each Pod Duang was slightly unique, yet they all adhered closely to the official weight standard set by the crown. After the coin was formed, it had to be marked to certify its authenticity and value. This was done by stamping it with official seals. Typically, a Pod Duang had two marks. One was the chakra, a spoked wheel representing the Hindu god Vishnu, which was adopted as a symbol of royal power and authority. This mark guaranteed that the coin was official government issue. The second mark was an emblem that identified the specific reign of the king under whom the coin was minted. This could be a symbol like a conch, an elephant, a lotus, or another emblem associated with the ruling monarch. These stamps were pressed into the silver while it was still warm. The result was a piece of money that was both practical and symbolic. Its weight was its intrinsic value, but its official stamps were the guarantee of the state. The main denomination was the 1 baht coin, but other sizes were also produced, including smaller fractions like the saluang, which was 1/4 of a baht, and the phuang, which was 1/8 of a baht, as well as larger multiples for significant transactions. This system of standardized weights and official marks created a reliable and sophisticated currency that was honestly, perfectly suited to the needs of the time. It was a currency designed to be trusted, and it would serve the Thai kingdoms for over 600 years. The success of the Pod Duang was so profound that it outlasted the Sukhothai Kingdom that created it. When the powerful kingdom of Ayutthaya rose to dominate the region in the 14th century, its rulers did not invent a new currency. Instead, they adopted the Pod Duang system, recognizing its effectiveness and the trust it had already earned among the people. For over 400 years, the Ayutthaya Kingdom continued to mint bullet money, making it the financial backbone of one of Southeast Asia's greatest trading empires. The basic shape and weight standards remained the same, demonstrating the brilliance of the original Sukhothai design. During the long Ayutthaya period, the one element that changed was the second royal stamp on the coin. Each new king would introduce a new emblem to mark the coins produced during his reign. These emblems served as a historical record, allowing us to trace the coins back to specific eras. The symbols used were varied and meaningful, often drawing from religious iconography or representing the king's name or power. For example, some coins were stamped with the symbol of a Garuda, a mythical bird-like creature that is the mount of the god Vishnu, and a potent symbol of royal authority in Thailand. Other stamps included the royal parasol, elephants, or various floral designs. After the devastating fall of Ayutthaya in 1767, the Thai kingdom was quickly re-established, first at Thonburi under King Taksin, and then at Bangkok under the current Chakri dynasty. Even through this turbulent period of transition and rebuilding, the Pod Duang remained the official currency. The new kings of Thonburi and Bangkok continued to mint bullet money because it was familiar and trusted. King Taksin's coins were marked with a trident, or trisula, while the early Bangkok kings of the Chakri dynasty introduced their own symbols. The first king, Rama I, used the unalam, a spiral representing the third eye of Shiva, within the chakra, which was the dynasty's emblem. For centuries, Duang coins were the lifeblood of the Siamese economy. They were used in bustling markets to buy food and goods, paid to soldiers and government officials as salaries, and collected as taxes by the state. Their solid silver content also made them acceptable to foreign traders, including those from China, India and Europe, who recognized their intrinsic value. The long and continuous use of Duang from the 13th century Sukhothai Kingdom to the late 19th century Bangkok period is a testament to its brilliant design. It was a currency that perfectly blended practicality, security, and royal authority, serving the Thai people for over half a millennium. By the mid-19th century, the world was rapidly changing, and Siam, as Thailand was then known, was feeling the pressure. European colonial powers were expanding their influence across Asia, and their advanced technology and economic systems were formidable. King Mongkut, Rama IV, and his son, King Chulalongkorn, Rama V, were visionary monarchs who understood that Siam needed to modernize to maintain its independence. This modernization effort touched every aspect of society, from government administration and law to education and, crucially, the monetary system. The traditional Duang, which had served the kingdom for so long, began to seem outdated in this new global context. The first major challenge to the Duang came with increased trade with the West. European and American merchants were accustomed to flat, machine-milled coins that were easy to count and stack. They found the oddly shaped bullet money to be cumbersome and unfamiliar. Furthermore, the manual production of Duang was slow and could not keep up with the demands of a rapidly growing economy. The Royal Mint could not produce bullet money fast enough, leading to shortages that hampered trade. It became clear that a new, more modern form of currency was needed to facilitate international commerce and project an image of a modern, civilized nation. In 1857, Queen Victoria of Great Britain gifted a small, steam-powered minting press to King Mongkut. This was a turning point. For the first time, Siam had the technology to produce modern, Western-style flat coins. The king initiated the minting of the kingdom's first flat, round coins. However, the transition was not immediate. The initial production was small, and many people were still accustomed to the old bullet money. For a time, both the traditional Duang and the new flat coins circulated side by side. The old system, based on weight, coexisted with the new system, based on counting identical, machine-made pieces. Under the ambitious reforms of King Chulalongkorn, the shift became permanent. He established a modern, state-of-the-art mint and officially decreed the end of Duang production in 1904. The old bullet money was gradually withdrawn from circulation and replaced entirely by the new flat coinage. This marked the end of a 600-year-old monetary tradition. The new coins were made of silver, gold, and bronze, and featured the portrait of the king on one side and a symbol of the kingdom, often the coat of arms, on the other. The adoption of flat coinage was a powerful symbol of Siam's successful transformation into a modern nation-state, ready to engage with the rest of the world on its own terms. The new flat silver coins introduced in the late 19th century became the standard for the Thai currency system, known as the Baht. Throughout the early decades of the 20th century, the 1 Baht coin, along with its smaller fractional counterparts like the Sa Luang, which is 25 satang, and the 50 satang coin, were minted from silver. These coins were widely used in daily commerce by people all across the kingdom. They were tangible symbols of wealth and the stability of the nation's economy. The silver content gave people confidence in the value of their money, as it was backed by the intrinsic worth of the precious metal itself. This was the era of the silver standard. However, the 20th century was a period of great economic upheaval globally. The Great Depression in the 1930s and the immense costs of World War II dramatically changed the world's financial landscape. The price of silver on international markets began to rise significantly. As the value of the silver metal in a coin became higher than the coin's face value, a serious problem emerged. People started hoarding the silver coins, or melting them down, to sell the raw silver for a profit. This caused a severe shortage of coins in circulation, making it difficult for people to conduct everyday business. Governments around the world, including Thailand's, were forced to respond to this economic reality. To keep coins in circulation and maintain a stable economy, they had to abandon the silver standard for their currency. The Thai government began to phase out silver from its circulating coinage. The composition of the coins was changed from precious silver to more affordable and stable base metals, such as nickel, copper, and tin alloys. The 1 baht coin, once a solid piece of silver, was eventually replaced by a larger coin made of a cup-ronical alloy, which is what most people are familiar with today. By the middle of the 20th century, the era of silver as a medium of daily exchange in Thailand had come to a close. The coins in people's pockets were no longer made of precious metal. Their value was now based entirely on the guarantee of the government, a fiat currency, rather than on their intrinsic metallic worth. This was a major transition that mirrored developments in almost every other country. Silver, the metal that had formed the basis of Thai currency from the first pod Duang to the early flat baht coins, had finally retired from its role in everyday transactions, marking the end of a very long and important chapter in the nation's monetary history. Although silver disappeared from the coins used in daily life, it did not vanish from the world of Thai numismatics. Instead, the precious metal was given a new and prestigious role. Beginning in the latter half of the 20th century, the Royal Thai Mint began to issue special coins, made of silver to mark important national events, celebrate royal anniversaries, and honor significant moments in Thai history and culture. These are known as commemorative coins. They are not intended for general circulation or to be spent in a shop. Instead, they are created as beautiful, limited edition items for collectors and as national mementos. These modern silver coins are crafted with extraordinary care and artistry, using advanced minting technologies that allow for intricate designs and flawless finishes. They often feature detailed portraits of members of the royal family, especially the beloved King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama IX, and the current King Vajiralongkorn, Rama X. Other popular themes for commemorative silver coins include important royal birthdays, jubilees celebrating a long reign, international events hosted by Thailand like the Asian Games, and anniversaries of key government institutions. Each coin is a miniature work of art that tells a story about a specific moment in the nation's journey. Unlike the circulating coins made of base metals, these silver commemorative coins have a value that comes from several sources. They have a face value, such as 600 baht or 900 baht, but this is largely symbolic. Their real value is derived from their precious silver content, their rarity as limited edition items, and their desirability among collectors, which is known as numismatic value. For many Thais, owning these coins is a way to express patriotism, respect for the monarchy, and a passion for the nation's history. They are keepsakes to be treasured and passed down through generations, much like family heirlooms. In this new role, silver has come full circle. It began its journey in Thailand as a precious substance used for high-value trade, became the foundation of the first national currency with the pod Duang, and served the people for centuries in their daily lives. Now, it has returned to its status as a special and honored material, used to capture and preserve the nation's most cherished memories in the form of exquisite commemorative coins. The story of Thailand's silver coinage, from the ancient bullet money of Sukhothai to the gleaming collector's pieces of today, is a reflection of the kingdom's own remarkable journey through history.